Okay, let's address the USC Notre Dame rivalry nonsense that's happening right now. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, this rivalry that has been, I think, one of the best rivalries in college football, historically speaking, just from a brand's perspective, from a prestige perspective, from a tradition perspective, it's in danger. All right, now Notre Dame has said, USC, we want to play you for a long time. Sign the papers. USC has said, hey, Notre Dame, we want to play you too. We want to see what happens with this whole playoff thing, all right? We got you a one-year extension. Let's go ahead and make this thing happen. And then, we'll see where this whole thing lands with the college football playoff and our, outlook on making that thing routinely. Because if we got to play y'all every year and that hurts our chances of making the playoff, don't know if we're super down for it. Let me make this disclaimer. Nobody in that locker room at USC that wears a helmet and pads on Saturdays feels this way. Don't think that's a stretch to say that. I think those dudes say spot the ball, let's play, we don't like y'all don't like us, let's go settle on the field. So the players, I think, are all about this, is my feel. Now, the powers that be that wear a suit and tie, they're like, what's good for us, what's good for our pockets. So we got a lot of takes on this. We'll talk about it right now. If you're a USC fan, I bet y'all want to play Notre Dame. I really do. So make sure you subscribe. Notre Dame fans, I bet y'all are like, USC, let's sign the deal and let's keep this thing going for a long time. Both y'all make sure you're subscribed. We'll talk about this here going forward. When we have news on this, we'll keep talking about it. But bottom line, y'all both love college football. You love your respective programs. We'll talk about both. Make sure you're locked in. We appreciate you in advance for doing that. So my first thought when I got this news from a one Pat 40, who I think had the first report on it, this is just further proof we need someone in charge that cares about college football. Because right now, the reason this is happening is everyone is acting in their own interests, saying what helps our bottom line, what helps our chances to make the playoff. If it doesn't serve that purpose, we owe no allegiance to anybody when it comes to how we put our schedule together. We're going to go take care of ourselves, and we're going to act, like I just said, in the best interest of ourselves. If there's here we go again, a college football commissioner that says, actually, no, that's one of the greatest rivalries in the sport, y'all got to play every year, then we kind of avoid this whole thing. So we need a commissioner. How that happens, I don't know, but this is just yet another example. Go ahead and add another tally to the board of we need someone in charge of college football that actually looks out for college football. So add that to the, like I said, to the running total there. For USC, speaking to the people in charge here, you need to play the long game here. This is an incredibly short-sighted approach to say, well, it might hurt our chances of making the playoffs, so therefore we're going to take a step back. That's not what this is about. What this is about for USC is part of the deal when you go to USC, if you're a recruit or if you're a coach or whoever, when you go to USC, part of that whole deal is you are playing Notre Dame, whether it be earlier in the year because it's going to be at Notre Dame or whether it's at the end of the year because it's at USC. That's how this thing works. That's college football. There's certain things that are just part of the equation when you sign up to go to a certain place. If you go to Michigan, guess what? You're playing Ohio State. You go to Texas, guess what? You're playing Oklahoma. Doesn't matter what conference they're in. Doesn't matter who's where. It's what comes with the territory. And so for USC, what I will say is I think the brand in itself is phenomenal. Same thing for Notre Dame. We've said that multiple times. But I think that when you play your rival, especially with a rivalry of this stature, you get more juice when you play Notre Dame. You get more juice when you play USC. That's not me saying they're dependent on each other to be great brands. If they never played again, they'd still be awesome in and of themselves. But, I mean, Michigan last year, to go back to that example, when were they the most relevant in college football? The week they played Ohio State. We weren't talking a lot about Michigan during the year. Why? Because they weren't all that great. Now, it still mattered to Michigan fans how their team was doing, but like nationally, was Michigan really a team that you had in the conversation frequently during the first block of College Game Day or Big Noon or whatever? No. Why? Because they weren't that great last year. Michigan knows that. They were under their standard. But when they played Ohio State, even before they beat Ohio State, we're all talking about, hey, could Michigan get it done? Could Michigan find a way to beat Ohio State? Same thing with this rivalry. Even if either side has a down year, you're still watching this game closely because of the impact this rivalry has for both those fan bases, how much it means to both sides. So I think the discussion around the playoff format, while it's hard to blame anybody from a common sense perspective to say, hey, if we play a team that's not in our conference and they're good that year and we lose to them and we don't make the playoff because of that, we don't like that for ourselves. I understand. But here's the thing, man. One, like I just said, it's a part of the deal when you go play for that school. So that's the first part of this. The second part of this is the way the playoff is shifting right now, it continues to look like we're going to have automatic qualifiers. Big Ten's going to have, it sounds like right now, 4 automatic qualifying spots. Same for the SEC. There's different ways it could look for other conferences. But if it's about automatic qualifiers for your conference, then this doesn't matter at all, right? And this is just for the benefit of college football, for the benefit of your school, for the benefit of tradition. Doesn't matter what happens with the game in itself from a outcome perspective. I say that in regards to the college football playoff. It still matters for us as college football fans. But if it's about the playoff, then this game may not have any impact at all if you go make the automatic qualifier for your conference. USC, just worry about winning the Big Ten, baby. Just worry about handling business against the Ohio States and Michigans and Oregons and Penn States of the world. Don't worry about what's going to happen with the Notre Dame game in regards to the college football playoff. I would say this, competitors, they want to play the best. I just told you, everyone in that locker room, I have to believe, if you were to tell them tomorrow, hey, guess what, Notre Dame game this year, it's canceled, which isn't on the table, but you hear what I'm saying. I don't think that would be met with oh, good. Good, we didn't want to play those guys anyway. Nobody that actually loves to compete feels that way. Fan bases included. I promise you, the USC fan base, they want to go at Notre Dame every year. Same deal with Notre Dame. So a lot of suits get in the way here. I don't love it. And the thing that I will say the most here that crossed my mind is like this. I hate what this says about where we are in college football. And I want to be careful to not complain about the sport itself, because the sport itself is still the best on the face of planet Earth. But like the fact that we now are factoring in the college football playoff into every single discussion, like what are we doing here, man? This was never actually a thought that we had until several years ago. When the BCS was a thing, no one was saying, man, if we can't make the BCS championship, we don't want to play a good – like that wasn't the thing. You still want to win a national championship, but it was more so about what is your team doing on the field in regards to previous records or your conference. It wasn't about winning a national championship. That wasn't the end-all, be-all. Now, for schools like this, maybe it was, but you hear the sentiment I'm making. The playoff being a factor that's at the front of your decision-making is a relatively new thing. And I don't think it's good for what has made the sport what it is. Like the soul of college football, tradition, rivalry, bands, all those things. Sounds like I'm being kind of nostalgic and holding on to the past, because I am. Because that's what made college football. So USC, I promise you, everyone involved in the actual football playing want this game to happen. Same thing for the fan base. And if it doesn't happen, it's an embarrassment for college football. Absolute travesty, embarrassment, should be ashamed, everyone involved. Don't think that'll happen. Think they'll get it done. But, just the story makes me angry. Mic drop. Appreciate y'all, man. We will make sure that we keep this party rolling. We love y'all. We will see y'all next time.